Welcome to the Cloud Computing webinar. Mission Critical Systems is a local IT management company based in Denver, Colorado. We work as the outsourced IT department for small businesses in the Denver metro area. We specialize in providing peace of mind and transparency to help businesses better manage their IT. Please contact me at cloud@mcstech.net for more information about our services. I'm Stephen Nichols. I'm the Director of Business Development here. And this webinar is going to talk through cloud computing, which is one of the big trends in the industry these days. First, we'll do a definition of what cloud computing is. We'll start with traditional on-premise networks, and we'll say how cloud computing differs from that. Right now, you're probably staring at a workstation, a laptop, or a desktop computer that connects to the network. These computers run most programs, Microsoft Office kinds of things. They store some files, hopefully not a lot, and then they take user input, and they're the main way of interacting with the IT infrastructure. Somewhere, though, there's going to be a closet, and in that closet there's going to be a server. It might do things like hosting Exchange. It might do storing files. It might have some databases, or there might be a line of business application that you use, and that runs off of the server. So your computers connect to the server, and then there's the internet, and the server connects to the internet, where there are websites and email, and of course all the good stuff that comes into the internet. So under a traditional network, email comes out of the internet and goes into the Exchange server in the closet, and then all of the computers are going to connect to the Exchange server in order to interact with that email, and then they send an email. It comes from the Exchange server back out to the internet. Now, cloud computing is a little bit different. Under cloud computing, the computers are going to connect to the server through the internet using a secure connection. So the server is probably located somewhere else, off-premise. It could be in the same state, it could be in a different state, it could be just a few states over. And the workstations use a secure connection to get connected to it. Now, in that case, an email gets generated on the workstation level, gets sent through the internet to the Exchange server, through the internet again to someone else's Exchange server, and then gets downloaded and read, and etc. When email comes in, it comes in through the internet to the Exchange server, to the internet again, and then down to the workstation, and that's how the information kind of gets processed. So the server sits on the other side of the internet in a data center or some kind of hosting facility that could be located anywhere. So cloud computing server probably does the same things that your normal server does right now, but it might also do things like running some programs. It might store some of the files that it wouldn't normally store, and it could be that your workstation is just where you do the input, just where you do the typing and the mouse clicks, and just where things get displayed, and all the actual processing, the hard work gets done on the other side of the internet in a data center somewhere else. That's cloud computing. Now, there are different kinds of cloud computing, and we'll get into three different types that work out. The first one is software as a service. In software as a service, everything from the infrastructure to the storage to the software is provided, and everything, but it displays locally. So you're going to connect to this through Internet Explorer usually, and then interact with the software and with the data by using Internet Explorer only. You don't have to have anything installed special on your computer to run it. Salesforce.com is a great example of this. It's probably the leading example. It's a customer relationship management software where the entire program, all the processing, all the data is being stored, the platform, everything is stored in a data center somewhere else, and you can connect to it from anywhere you want to be. So if you're at work, if you're at home, if you're using a mobile device, it doesn't matter. You're connecting to the same data in the same location. Exchange also is a software as a service. You can have a hosted Exchange solution, which is one thing that we provide, and you're able to connect to that Exchange, and it acts and looks just exactly like an Exchange server that would be located in your closet. It's just that you don't have to do any of the maintenance because it's located somewhere else. The next type is going to be infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service means the server or the voice over IP infrastructure, or whatever the kind of the IT backbone stuff, the heavy lifting equipment. All of that is considered infrastructure, and that can all be bought as a service now too. So if you just need a Windows server and you want to put some software on top of that runs your line of business application, things like GoGrid and other partners that we have would be able to set up that server. You can install the software yourself and manage it yourself, but you don't have to worry about the capital expense of buying a piece of hardware. You don't have to worry about maintaining it because all of that is kind of included in the service. The final one is maybe a little bit more esoteric. We don't see it so often in small businesses, and that's platform as a service. Platform as a service, so imagine you're a very large company and you have this custom application that ties together your I don't know, your ERP with your CRM and some other three-letter acronym. So you need to have this application developed, but normally what you'd have to do is create a server, install software on it, get it up and running, do all the testing for it, and deal with all that headache before you even get to start designing that custom application. Well, with Windows Azure and other platforms as a service, that gives you that platform to start the development, and it kind of gives you a shortcut before, so you don't have to worry about all of those kinds of things. The only other real small business possibility would be SharePoint. SharePoint's great. If you haven't seen it, you really ought to. It's something that can be customized and that can be developed to the extent that it really could be called a platform. And if we're hosting that platform, then that would be called Platform as a Service. So that might be an example in the small business arena. Some of the partners that we work with allow us to do things like hosted exchange. You get 5 or 25 gigabyte mailboxes. You still get BlackBerry and ActiveSync support, and you get the easy transition from whatever you're using right now to a hosted exchange plan. Hosted exchange plans are billed typically by email address, and it can range in the amount of dollars, but it almost always works out to being less expensive than buying an exchange server itself. Certainly there's no hardware cost on the front end. Hosted Exchange is or hosted SharePoint rather is another thing that we can do. You have unlimited users have access to from as little as 200 megabytes to 20 gigabyte sites, and the cost for that is almost nominal in some cases. Rolling out SharePoint is great. I mean, if you have any experience with SharePoint, you know that a full site rollout can take a day or two just to get the back end set up. And we're doing that now. We can get that provision for you in 24 hours, and the cost of it is just absolutely nominal to get that started up. Now you also have hosted Microsoft Server. You can access it from anywhere. You just decide what kind of server you want. We put it together for you in a data center, and then whatever software you want to install on it is fine. You can do voice over IP as a hosted solution, meaning no longer do you have to have all of the equipment in your server room. You can have all of that located in a data center, and then just the internet connection is all that's required. And then, of course, i365, which is a backup solution. It's a very nice disk-to-disk solution where your data would be stored somewhere off-site in one of these secure data centers, and the recovery time is just unparalleled. It's very, very quick. So thank you very much for coming. We appreciate your interest in cloud computing and mission-critical systems. If you have more information in cloud computing, please contact me. Again, I'm Stephen Nichols, and my phone number and the website is listed there. You can also email at cloud@mcstech.net, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you have. So thank you again for your time, and best of luck with all of your IT plans.